Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to learn about the nature of quadratic roots. Okay, nature of roots of quadratic equation. The first thing that we need to know is what do we mean by roots of the quadratic equation. Roots is nothing but just another name for the solution of quadratic equation. Roots means, by root we mean solution of quadratic equation. Okay, so just root is just another name for the solution of this quadratic equation that we have already learned how to find. Okay, by the quadratic formula or completing square we were finding the solutions of the quadratic equation, and roots is another name for such solutions. Okay, so this is nothing new, but the solution of a quadratic equation is also called root. Okay, so if we want to learn the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation, then for this we need to know the properties of the solutions or roots of the quadratic equation. Nature means you want to know about the properties of the quadratic solution. So note that in this video we are not going to we don't want to know about the value of the quadratic solution. We only want to know about their nature, as to whether they are real or imaginary, or whether they are going to be equal or unequal, or and such things. Okay, so we know that the standard form of the quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the standard form of the quadratic equation. And we also know that we want to find the roots of this quadratic equation. The formula that we used was minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. Now the important thing to note is that these roots, if I write them separately, there are two possible roots. One is negative b plus b square minus 4ac over 2a, and the other is minus b minus under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Now the nature of the roots or the properties of the roots depends upon this factor which is under the radical sign. Okay, this is the factor which affects the nature of the quadratic the nature of the roots or solutions of the quadratic equation. We will see it in a minute. This factor b square minus 4ac is called the discriminant. The name which we have given to it is the discriminant, because it discriminates between the roots of the quadratic equation. It tells us about the nature. It tells us its value makes a difference on its values makes a difference, or it has an impact on the values of the roots of the quadratic equation. Therefore it is called discriminant. Now this b square minus 4ac, there are three main possibilities. Either it is equal to 0, and if it is not equal to 0, then either it is less than 0, or the third possibility is this is greater than 0. Okay, these are the main three possibilities that we can have for b square minus 4ac. When we calculate this, we will either get 0, or we will get a negative number, or a positive number. These are the three main possibilities. Let us see what impact it has on the roots of the quadratic equation. Now in the first case, if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, let us suppose that b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. Now if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, the first case, b square minus 4ac, if it comes out to be equal to 0, then what will be the first root? Let me name this as the first and the second root. Okay, quadratic equation can have at the most two roots or two solutions. One is this one and the second one is this one. Now if b square minus 4ac comes out to be equal to 0, then what will happen? X will be equal to minus b plus under root 0 is 0 over 2a, and the second root will be minus b minus under root 0 over 2a. Now we know that x is equal to minus b plus 0 over 2a, and the answer will be minus b over 2a. In this case, what we are going to get? Minus b minus 0 over 2a. Now we know that if 0 is subtracted from a number, it remains the same. Similarly, if 0 is added to a number, it will not affect the number. Okay, the number will be negative b will remains negative b whether 0 is added or subtracted from it. So it means that if the discriminant is 0, then there will be no difference between these two roots, because the only thing that was making the difference was this radical sign, this number, and this number, if it turns out to be equal to 0, then it will have no effect on the roots of the equation. And if it is non-zero, then it will definitely affect, because if some non-zero number is added to negative b, then it will give us some other answer, and if the same non-zero number is subtracted from negative b, it will give us an answer which will be different from this. So if b square minus 4ac is not equal to 0, then we are going to get two different roots. But in this case, as b square minus 4ac is equal to 0 and root of 0 is also 0, so it means that negative b plus 0 and negative b minus 0, they will have the same answer, because 0 does not affect negative b whether it is added to negative b or subtracted from negative b. 0 is the only number which does not affect any number when it is added to that number. For example, 2 plus 0 is always 2, and 2 minus 0 is also 2. It means that this 0 has no effect on the number 2. Same is the case for all the numbers, and same will be the case for negative b. So it means that if the discriminant is equal to 0, then we are going to have two equal roots, because the only thing that made the difference in these two numbers was under root b square minus 4ac, and it turned out to be equal to 0. So now it has no impact on these two on this number negative b. If you may see that these roots are the same, because negative b and negative b are same, 2a and 2a are same. The only difference between these two formulas is the addition and subtraction of. Over here we are adding this number, while in the second case we are subtracting this number. So it means that if the number which is making difference becomes equal to 0, then whether it is added to negative b or subtracted from negative b, the answer will remain the same, and therefore both the roots are going to be equal. So in this case, what happens is that both the roots x1 and x2, they will have the same value. So it means that if b square minus 4ac, then according to all this discussion, we can say that the roots are always equal. Okay, so you are going to note this down. If b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then this implies that roots are equal. They will not be distinct. Okay, now coming to the second case, if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, it means if it is a number which is negative, then what happens? So in case 1, we learned that if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then this implies that roots are equal. In order to verify this, I will do an example. Let us take the example. Suppose we have the quadratic equation 9x square minus 12x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now in order to know whether this equation will have equal solutions or not, we need to calculate the discriminant. Okay, now if I calculate the discriminant will be b square minus 4ac. Okay, now we know that in this case, as if we compare it to the standard quadratic equation, over here a is equal to 9, b is equal to negative 12, and c is equal to 4. Now if I calculate the factor b square minus 4ac, it will be negative 12 whole square minus 4a into c. Now if I calculate this by using a calculator, it will be equal to 144 minus 144, and the answer will be equal to 0. So as the discriminant is equal to 0, so we will say that the roots are equal. Okay, this was the equation. We calculated the discriminant, let me denote it by d, and as the discriminant came out to be equal to 0, so we can say that the roots of this quadratic equation are going to be equal. Okay, in order to verify this, we can solve this and actually find whether, or actually check whether these are equal or not. Okay, in order to check that, I am going to use this formula. X will be minus b, what is b? Negative 12, minus negative 12 plus minus negative 12 whole square minus 4 a into c. Over 2 into a, that is 9. Now this will be equal to 12. Okay, and plus minus, as the discriminant is 0, this whole factor will become equal to 0, and under root 0 is also 0. So we are going to have the two roots will be, the first one will be 12 plus 0 over 18, which is equal to, if I simplify it, this 12 by 18, and if we simplify it by 3, this will be 4 by 6, which will be 2 by 3. Similarly, the second root will be 12 minus 0, which is again going to be 12 by 18 and 2 by 3. So as you may see, we are getting the same number. Okay, so this is how I have verified that if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then the roots are going to be equal. As you may see, both the roots x1 is also 2 by 3 and x2 is also 2 by 3. It means both these roots came out to be the same numbers, and we can see that a solution set is will contain only 2 by 3. Okay, so we had two different roots, but because this discriminant came out to be equal to 0, therefore now we have two equal roots. Okay, the only thing which was making difference between these two turned out to be equal to 0. Now taking the second case, in which b square minus 4ac, if it is not equal to 0, okay, and suppose that it is less than 0, means a negative number. Now we know that whenever we have a negative number under the radical sign, we get imaginary numbers. That we have already learned in class 9. For example, let me recall it. If you want to find the square root of negative 16, you know that there is no positive number whose square is, there is no real number whose square is equal to negative 16. But if I separate it and write it as negative 1 into 16, negative 1 into under root 16. Now here we can find the square root. Okay, square root of 16 is 4, so we can write it as negative 1 into 4. Now for simplicity, we couldn't find a number. Okay, neither a positive number nor a negative number, because negative 4 whole square is also equal to plus 16, not negative 16. But once we have separated this negative sign from 16, now we can find at least the square root of this number. For simplicity, as you have already learned in class 9, we call this factor the root of -1 as iota. So whenever we have a negative number under the radical sign, we always get under root -1, which is iota, and you know that such numbers are called imaginary numbers. So in this case we are going to discuss the imaginary values of b square minus 4ac, the imaginary values of under root b square minus 4ac, because if, as in the second case, the second case was that what happens if b square minus 4ac is less than 0. Less than 0 means it will be a negative number. Okay, if this is a negative number, then obviously if b square minus 4ac is a negative number, then what will be its root? Will it be real? If b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then it means that it will be less than 0, means it will be a negative number. So if we have a negative sign under the radical, we have a negative number under the radical sign, then this will obviously be equal to an imaginary number. Okay, note that b square minus 4ac is not an imaginary number, it is some negative number, but we know that the root of a negative number is always imaginary. Okay, whenever we have a negative number under the radical sign, we always get iota and plus iota and some number over here, and this whole number is always imaginary. So if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, it means under root b square minus 4ac will be an imaginary number. And how will it impact the roots? Now as b square minus 4ac under root, this number is an imaginary number. Okay, whenever an imaginary number is added to some real number, whether it is real or imaginary, the answer is always an imaginary number. Okay, this we know from the theory of imaginary number. Whenever you add some for example, you have an imaginary number 3 iota, if it is added to some real number, then it always gives a complex number. Okay, or imaginary number. Similarly, if it is 3 iota is added to some imaginary number, even then it gives a complex number. And here negative b is going to be a real number, and when it is added to this imaginary number, we will get a number of this form. Okay, and when we get an answer of this form, it means that x1 will belong to imaginary numbers or complex numbers. Similarly, x2, whenever an imaginary number is subtracted from some real number, the answer is always an imaginary number. Okay, so the impact of its imaginary value on the whole roots will be that both the roots are going to be imaginary. Okay, I will prove it with the help of an example, then you will understand it clearly. So if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then this implies that roots are going to be imaginary or will belong to the set of complex numbers. Okay, set of complex number, roots will belong to the set of complex number. And we can say that in the first case what we did was, in the first case b square minus 4ac was equal to 0, so the roots were equal in both the cases. As b square as 0 is a real number, okay, so in that case we can't get any imaginary value, but in this case b square minus 4ac is less than 0, a negative number. Okay, so if we get a negative value of b square minus 4ac, then under root b square minus 4ac will obviously be an imaginary number. Imaginary number added to some real always give us complex number. Similarly, over here this imaginary number added to this real number will give us complex number. It means that if in the first case we did was b square minus 4ac was 0, and we know that 0 is not a negative number, so we couldn't get imaginary values. But over here it is less than 0. Okay, a negative number, so we are getting imaginary or complex number. For example, let me do an example for you to prove that. at how it happens. For this, let us take the equation 2x square plus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. If we calculate the discriminant of this, it will be over here a is equal to 2, b is equal to 5 and c is equal to 4. So discriminant will be b square is 2 square minus 4, sorry, b is 5, so b square will be 5 square minus 4, a will be 2 and c will be 4. Over here what do we get? This is 25 minus, and this is 4 4s are 16, and 16 into 2 will be 32, while 25 minus 32 will be, I think it's negative 7. 5 minus 32, yes, it's negative 7. As it is less than 0, so we will say that the roots are imaginary. Okay, so it's simple. It just, if you want to know the nature of the quadratic roots, you just need to calculate this factor. If it comes out to be less than 0, then the roots, you can declare that the roots are imaginary. Now let us prove it by this example. Let me calculate the values of the root. In order to calculate the values of the root, I will need the quadratic formula, which is minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. So x will be minus b, b was 5, negative 5 plus minus 5 square minus 4 a into c over twice of 2. Okay, so this will be equal to minus b plus minus under root, this number as we have calculated here is negative 7 over 4. Now if I write it in the iota form, this will be minus 5 plus minus under root 7 iota over 4. So over here we are getting the imaginary roots. The first one is negative 5 plus under root 7 iota over 4, and the second one is negative 5 minus under root 7 iota over 4. So as you may see, we got two complex numbers. Okay, this is a complex number and this is also a complex number. So it means that if I want to find whether the roots are complex or real, we don't need to calculate all these. Okay, we just need to calculate this discriminant. If it comes out to be less than 0, then the roots are going to be complex number. So if they are asking for the nature of roots only, then you don't need to go for these details. Okay, you don't need to apply the quadratic formula to get to the values. Okay, we are just want, if you just want to know about the nature, then doing this much will be enough. Okay, you will calculate b square minus 4ac. If it is less than 0, then the roots are going to be imaginary. Okay, now let us move to the third case, in which b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. Okay, we have done two cases. The first one was b square minus 4ac equal to 0, which gave us equal roots. The second case was b square minus 4ac less than 0, which gave us imaginary roots or complex roots. And the third case is what happens if b square minus 4ac is a positive number. Case 3 is that if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then the result that we are seeking is that if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then it will give us two distinct real roots. As it is greater than 0, so it means that as is greater than 0, so root of this equation cannot be imaginary. Okay, it is going to be some real number. This square root will come out to be some real number. Now in the next step we are going to discuss whether this will be a rational number and the case when it is going to be an irrational number. Because it is real, if it comes out to be a real number, it may be rational, it may be irrational. Okay, it may be a perfect square or it may not be a perfect square. Okay, wait, not rational, irrational, but if the square root comes out to be a real number, this may be a perfect square. There are two possibilities. Okay, or not a perfect square. We will discuss this in a minute. But here the thing to see is that b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then root will always be a real number. As it is a real number, so it means we will not get any imaginary number. Over here we are going to, and you know that if this is not equal to 0, then square root of this number cannot have the same impact over here and here. Here we are going to have a real number which is not 0, then over here that number will be added to negative b, while over here that number will be subtracted from negative b. So in this case we are going to get two different real numbers. Okay, as a result we are going to get two different roots, because we are having a real number which is being added to this number, and over here we are subtracting the same number from negative b. So they cannot be same if this number is non-zero. Okay, so as b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, its root will not be an imaginary number, neither its root can be equal to a 0. Okay, it will be some non-zero number, and when the non-zero number is added over here, it will give us some answer which will be different from the answer which we will get here by subtracting it from negative b. Let us do as an example to understand it better. Okay, if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then let us do an example. The roots are going to be, the roots will be real, plus they will be distinct also, different also. Okay, this is the result. They will be real plus they will be distinct. Let me take an example over here. For example, let us take 2x square minus 9x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now first of all let me find the discriminant. The discriminant will be b square minus 4ac, and over here a is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 9, and c is equal to 4. Okay, now if I calculate the discriminant, it is going to be negative 9 whole square minus 4, a is 2 and c is again 4. So over here we are going to get 81 minus 32, which is equal to 49, and it is greater than 0. Okay, so as the discriminant is greater than 0, you can say that the roots are real and distinct. Okay, in order to know the roots, if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, the roots are going to be real. Okay, you will not have any imaginary number as we did in the last case, and they are going to be real and distinct. Now this told us about the nature of the roots. Now let us check whether it is true or not by taking an example. Okay, by taking this example and finding its roots. Now if you want to go to the actual values of the roots, then that will be okay, and this will be b is negative 9, so minus of negative 9 plus minus negative 9 whole square minus 4. What is a? A is 2 and c is 4 over twice of 2. Okay, this will be plus minus, and over here as we have calculated it here, this is equal to 49 and square root of 49 is 7. Nine plus 7 over 4, so x1 will be 9 plus 7 over 4, which is equal to 16 by 4 and 4. Okay, and in the second case x2 will be 9 minus 7 over 4. 9 minus 7 is positive 2 over 4, which is 1 by 2. So as you may see, the roots are different from each other, but both are real. Okay, none of them is imaginary. This is because of this factor, as this was equal to 49. Okay, this factor is equal to 49. So as it is 49, it is a real number. Okay, square root of this is a real number, not an imaginary number. So any real number when added to some other real number always gives you a real number, and any real number subtracted from some real number also gives you a real number, and divided by a real number, the result is always a real number. Okay, this we have learnt in the properties of real number. And so it means that if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then the roots are always real and distinct. So if they ask you about the nature of the root, then you don't need to calculate all this. Okay, this I did because just to prove you that this is the reality. Okay, the reality of this statement. Otherwise only this much calculation will be enough. If you want to know the roots of the equation, you just need to calculate b square minus 4ac. If it is equal to 0, we are going to get equal roots. If it is less than 0, we are going to get imaginary roots. If it is greater than 0, we are going to get real and distinct roots. Okay, now in the third case there is a bit more discussion. The point is that in the third case we learned that if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then under root b square minus 4ac will be a real number. Now we know that it is a real number, but in real number we have two types of number, rational and irrational. The main two subsets of real number are, if you have real numbers, then these may be rational or irrational. Okay, so if the roots are real, then how to find whether the roots are going to be rational number or irrational number? For that, the criteria we use is that if b square minus 4ac is a real number, then the square root of this b square minus 4ac may be a perfect square or may not be a perfect square. Okay, now what is a perfect square? There are two possibilities: under root b square minus 4ac, which affect the nature of the roots for them to be a rational or irrational. Okay, if you want to know whether the roots are going to be rational or irrational, again we have to look at this discriminant and its square root. If b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, okay, if b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, now if b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, then we get rational roots. Okay, what are rational numbers? Which can easily be written in the form of a fraction. And the second thing is that if b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square. Then we will get irrational numbers. Now, in order to understand these two statements that help us to find whether the roots are rational or irrational. Once the roots are real, they may be rational roots or irrational roots. Its rationality depends upon the b square minus 4ac. If b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, then we get rational roots, and if b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square, we get irrational numbers. In order to explain this statement, we need to know what are perfect squares, okay, which numbers are perfect square and which numbers are not perfect square. Now, perfect squares are those numbers for which we get a whole number when we find their square root. For example, 49 is a perfect square because its square root is 7 and it is a whole number, it is not a decimal number, okay. Under root 36 is a perfect square because its square root is 6, which is a whole number. But under root, let us say 48, if you find its square roots, it will not be a whole number. Let me find it for you. It is going to be, if I find its prime factorization to find its root, what do we have? 48 is 4 into 12, and it means that if I do the prime factorization, it will be 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3, okay. This is the prime factorization of 48. Over here we know that 2 will come out of the root, 2 will come out of the root over here, so we will have 2 into 2 4 under root 3. Now you know that the 3 will remain under the radical sign, so the answer will be 4 under root 3. Now we know that whenever we take the square root of a prime number, we get an irrational number, a surd, okay, that we have learned in class 9, that the square roots of prime numbers are always irrationals, okay. Square root of prime numbers is always an irrational number, and if a number is not perfect square, then we definitely get a prime number under the radical sign when we find its root. For example, in 48, when I was finding its square root, the first thing that we do is doing the prime factorization. It means that all the numbers that we are going to write here are going to be prime. Now, if it was perfect square, then nothing would have been left under the radical sign. But if it is not a perfect square, then there is always a prime number that you will have under the radical sign, which you will not be able to remove from there, okay. So whenever we have a number which is not perfect square, we are always left with a prime number under the radical sign at the end. Now this gives you irrationality, okay. Under root 3 is an irrational number, and whenever an irrational number is multiplied or added or subtracted from some other number, whether rational or irrational, it will make this whole number an irrational number, okay. So if under root 3 is irrational, then this whole number will be irrational, and when this is added to any number, again we will get an irrational number. So this is the impact of perfect square and a number which is not perfect square, okay. If it is a perfect square, we are going to get a whole number, okay, a rational number. But if it is not a perfect square, okay, if the number under the radical sign is not a perfect square, its root will be irrational, okay. So if you have a perfect square, then perfect squares have rational roots, okay, whole numbers, they are rational. And if you have a number which is not perfect square, then its root will always give you irrationality. And the second thing that, in order to learn about these two statements, the second thing that we need to learn is what impact does it have on the roots of the quadratic equation. B square minus 4ac, if it is a perfect square, then it means that its root will be an irrational number. If b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, its root will be a whole number. And if b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square, then its root will be an irrational number. Okay, and that irrational number will make this root, it will make these roots also irrational. Let us see it through an example. Okay, let us first do the example of rational when we get b square minus 4ac as perfect square and we get the roots as rational numbers. For example, x square minus 23 x plus 120 is equal to 0. Okay, first we are going to calculate the discriminant b square minus 4ac, which is going to be equal to b square is negative 23 square minus 4, a is the coefficient of x square which is 1, c is 120 over here, and if I calculate it, we are going to get 4 into 120 subtracted from 23 square. What do we get? 49. Okay, so for this example, discriminant is 49, and as you may see, it is a perfect square, which is a perfect square. As it is a perfect square, according to this statement, it should give us rational roots. Okay, let us find the roots. Roots will be by using the quadratic formula minus b plus minus 4ac over 2a. Then its roots will be negative of negative 23 plus minus b square minus 4ac, as I have calculated here to be equal to 49, so I am writing it directly over here. 2a is 1, so over here we are getting 23 plus minus 7 over 2. Now as we have removed the radical sign because it was perfect square, so its square root came out to be a whole number. As it is a whole number, so it means that we have nothing left under the radical sign, because 49 is 7 into 7 if you do its prime factorization, and 1 7 is taken out of here and we are left with nothing. So it means there will not be any irrationality, because irrationality comes whenever we are left with the square root of a prime number, whenever we are left with a prime number under the root while finding the square root of some number. So it means that the roots are going to be 23 plus 7 over 2 and 23 minus 7 over 2. 23 plus 7 will be 30 over 2, which will be 15, while 23 minus 7 over 2 will be, it's going to be 16 by 2, which is 8. So we are getting two numbers, 15 and 8. Both are rational numbers. Both can be written in the form of a fraction. Okay, rational numbers are those numbers which can be written in the form of a fraction, that we have learned it. This thing we have learned it in class 9. So I am not going to get into its details. So it means that whenever b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, for example, over here we got 49. 49 is a perfect square because square root is a whole number. Then we will get rational numbers. So if b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, we get the rational roots. Okay, because we have nothing left under the radical sign while calculating this square. Therefore, we don't get surds, we don't get irrationality. Now let us take an example where b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square, and as a result we get irrationality, which gives us irrational roots. For that, let us take the example. For that, I will take the example 9x square minus 9x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now if I calculate the discriminant b square minus 4ac, this will be equal to negative 9 whole square minus 4a into negative 5, okay, which will be equal to 81, plus this will be equal to 4 into 9 into 5 will be equal to 180, and when these two are added we get 261. Now as 261 is not a perfect square because there is no whole number whose square is this number. If you want to find the square root of 261, what we are going to do? We are going to do the prime factorization, and if you do the prime factorization, then you can easily see that 3 into 3 into 29 are the main three prime factors of 261. Okay, these are the 3 prime factors of 261. So if I want to find the square roots, I will go for the prime factorization, and after that what do? Just when we find a pair of two numbers, we take one out of that pair. So over here, as you may see, 29 is left under the radical sign. As it is left under the radical sign, we know that the square root of a prime number is always irrational. Of prime number, this you have learnt in class 9. Prime number is always irrational. You just need to use it over here, okay? You don't need to prove it. So just remember that whenever you get a prime number under the square root, it will always give you an irrational number. So you are getting here an irrational number. So it means that discriminant is 261 and its square root is equal to 3 under root 29, which is irrational. So it means that this portion of the formula is irrational. Okay, and when irrational number added to any number will always give you irrational. So we are getting irrational in the numerator. Irrational number divided by any number also gives us irrational number. So overall this whole number will become irrational because of this. So let me prove it for this example. If you want to find the roots, what we are going to do, minus b by using this formula, minus b plus minus b square minus 4, a is 9, c is negative 5 over twice of 9. Now this will be positive 9 plus minus, we know that this thing will be under root 261 over 18, which will be 9 plus minus 3 under root 29 over 18. So as you may see over here, we got irrational number because of the square root of this prime number. So it means that both the roots are going to be irrational. Okay, it is a surd, that's and we don't find the square root of this number because the surd have, if you have a surd, then it means that you have irrational numbers, and we can never find the finite number for this square root. Okay, we get irrationality here, surd here, which will make this number, this whole number, irrational, and when numerator is divided by any number, if the numerator is irrational, then this whole number will also become irrational. So what we did was we calculated b square minus 4ac. It came out to be equal to 261. And when we calculated under root b square minus 4ac, it came out to be an irrational number. And when irrational number is added to any number, it always has the impact that it makes this whole number an irrational number. So it means that the roots are also irrational because of this irrationality, okay, which came from b square minus 4ac, because it was not a perfect square. Okay, so if b square minus 4 is not a perfect square, as we did in this example 261, it's not a perfect square. Okay, so we got irrational number which made both the roots irrational number. It means that if b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square, we get irrational number. So this example, through this example, we have explained that if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then the roots are going to be real, but they are going to be rational if b square minus 4ac is a perfect square, and they are going to be irrational if b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square. Okay, so this is how you check whether the roots are rational or irrational. You just find the discriminant and see whether it is a perfect square or not. Okay, so let me summarize all the things that we have learned in this lecture. The first thing that we learned was that, so that you have a summary of all the things. The first thing, I will write the summary of the whole lecture. First thing, if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then roots are always equal and real also. Okay, second is, if b square minus 4ac less than 0, then roots are always complex numbers, the imaginary ones. Okay, third is, if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then roots are going to be real. Okay, and in this case we have two possibilities, whether the roots are rational or irrational. For that, once again we are going to see whether b square minus 4ac is a perfect square or not. If it is a perfect square, then roots are going to be real and rational. If so, not a perfect square, if b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square, then the roots are going to be real, but they are going to be irrational. Okay, so this is the whole thing that we did in this lecture. If they want you to find the nature of the quadratic roots, you just need to calculate and focus on the discriminant. If it is equal to 0, then declare that roots are equal. If it is less than 0, then declare that roots are always complex. If b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then the roots are going to be real. But whether these roots are going to be rational or irrational depends upon b square minus 4ac, whether it is perfect square or not. If it is not a perfect square, the roots are going to be real, but they are going to be irrational number. Okay, if it is a perfect square, then they are going to be real, but they are going to be irrational number. Okay, so this is the whole story. So this is the main basic formula for learning the nature of the roots, and the rest was the explanation for this to get you to the concept of this thing. In the next video we will do the exercise.